Yo, man, the reality is it's been a long time since I've done a video on this channel. Now, I have spoken of true crime things on my live stream, which you guys can see on thejbgunner Live each and every day, but I haven't really transitioned any of that information over to here for a while. So it's good to see you guys. Today, we're going to be talking about a video that Steve Goncalves did with News Nation. I know I'm late to the party, but I have my reasons for talking about this now. There's not a whole lot going on other than the house being demolished here coming up very soon. But we also had a situation where a fellow YouTuber, someone I actually like and I think is on the right track in terms of analyzing this case, Harsh Reality, he came under a lot of fire for some beef with Steve Goncalves. I'm going to talk about that and surprise a lot of you. I'm going to defend Harsh Reality because even though Harsh Reality did some fuckery, the reality of this is he meant well, and I believe that his only real issue is the fact that he pulled the videos. I'm thejbgunner. This is Crime Time. Let's get into it.
Bring it back.
What's going on, everybody? As you guys know, I'm thejbgunner, and this is Crime Time. Now, before we get into this story, let me first and foremost say thank you to everybody that supports the channel or any of my other channels, regardless of the platform, regardless of the method, whether it's Cash App, Patreon, Venmo, PayPal. Truth is, guys, I couldn't do this each and every day as often as I do if it wasn't for you, the Gun Squad. And so I thank you guys very much. And if you too find my content valuable, feel free to hit the links down below. Show some love. Join the Gun Squad today. All right. By the way, while you're down there, you can find the links to my other channel, my politics channel, my live stream channel, my gaming channel, my amusement park channel, hiking channel. I got all kinds of goddamn channels. But anyway, let's get into this. Now, not much has been happening with the IDAHO 4 case. Obviously, we got the house coming down, which you guys know I'm very much so against. I think it's foolish to take down the biggest piece of evidence in the entire goddamn case prior to the trial. It makes no sense whatsoever at all. But that is going on. Meanwhile, simultaneously, while this is going on, there's this thing that's going on in the YouTube community. Harsh Reality, who I have went back and forth with a lot, and I mean a lot, has come under fire because people have accused him of doctoring a message or lying in regards to Steve Goncalves. Now, here's the thing about his message, with his conversation back and forth with Steve Goncalves. The only thing that I will agree with when it comes to the critics is that Harsh Reality should have never released private messages to the public. And here's the truth. Whether it's this community or any other community, that's just what these YouTubers do. That's why I don't align with them. They constantly feel like they got to expose something. Do you see what I'm saying? And they feel proud when they do it. Look what Steve Goncalves said. Sometimes you got to keep private conversations private. Me and Harsh Reality went through an issue several months ago because I wasn't available to respond to his private email, so he went public with some shit and thought it was the right thing to do before talking to his, at the time, me and him were on really, really good terms. And whenever you do that, whenever you try to jump the gun because you want to break the news first, because here's the problem, whether we're talking about Harsh Reality or any of these other true crime YouTubers, they want to keep putting content out every day. They don't care if they jump the gun. They don't care if they put incomplete messages out. They don't care. They just want to get a content out. Even though the IDAHO news story has no new news, they got to put, as in Harsh says, 2 to 3 videos per day on this subject. As much as he tries to go to other stories, I know as a true crime, well, I'm not a true crime YouTuber, but I know on this channel, other stories don't get the views as the IDAHO 4. The reality of this is the people watching these videos want to watch IDAHO 4 content. That's why the majority of my content goes on other channels. Because I don't want to talk about the IDAHO 4 all day. I think it's gay as fuck to sit here and talk about this same case all day, every day. It's pointless. It's, But hey, if it's making Harsh or Choo Choo Train money or any of these motherfuckers, let them do it. But when you are boxed into a corner where you claim and you have promised your people 2 to 3 videos per day, promised your babies that, right, Hush? Then you have to come up with a video. And if there's no video to come up with, you may have to push something a little extra out there. And I think that that is the issue with Harsh Reality in this situation. Not that he did anything shady. Harsh Reality didn't do anything deceptive. He did not lie to you. Now, do I think Harsh Reality has a vendetta against Steve Goncalves? Of course I do. This motherfucker went on and on about Steve Goncalves' hat saying hex. He almost, in an undertone, accused Steve Goncalves of promoting scams to the audience. The possibility that Steve Goncalves could have just been wearing a hat, that wasn't a possibility for Harsh. But anyway, for you guys that do not know what happened in that scenario, Harsh Reality and Steve Goncalves had a conversation, supposedly, through Steve Goncalves' family page. Steve Goncalves, in this, he said, there's a couple things we learned from this. Steve Goncalves said that there was an earlier suspect. What basically Harsh Reality was doing was talking about being threatened, and I've seen it in this comment section. I assume he's getting them in the emails, right? And Steve Goncalves, the entire conversation was about being threatened by people within the case. Now, Harsh Reality was coming at it from a YouTuber sense. He probably was just talking about you idiots in the comment section or in his emails, right? Steve Goncalves is a little closer to the actual murders in the city. So Steve Goncalves has an entirely different position than Harsh Reality. Harsh Reality is talking about nerds on the internet threatening him. You fucking jabronis. Whereas Steve Goncalves was probably talking about real motherfuckers involved in the real case. Harsh Reality is over there in the UK, safe and snug. He has nothing to do with America, American crime. He has no danger from Americans. He's over there eating his tea and crumpets, and he's just fine, right? And that's not an insult. It's just the truth. Harsh Reality has nothing to do with American crime, nor does American crime affect Harsh Reality. So they were coming from 2 different positions in that conversation. Steve Goncalves thought that was the topic. Now, what Steve Goncalves said in that conversation was that Bethany and Dylan had great families, essentially, with a lot of resources, and they don't want to be part of this case at all. Harsh Reality pointed that out. Steve Goncalves thought he was having a private conversation with the dude. Harsh Reality honed in on that and said, hold on, there was a previous suspect? That was, and ultimately families making threats or whatever the case may be? And then he honed in on the fact that Goncalves says that the witnesses don't want to be part of this case at all. Now, for Steve, I think he's a goddamn fool because he needs to stop. There's a gag order on the case. Steve has got to be one of the dumbest motherfuckers in the world. If there's a gag order on the case and I'm sitting here and some fucking UK YouTuber emails me, I'm going to be like, brother, I ain't got no comment. But of course, Steve, who takes every advantage to get out there and blab, which he should, look, I understand. Steve's a father. His goal is to get to the bottom of this. His goal is to fucking hammer this home and be the alpha aggressor. And I think he does a pretty good job at this. But that's the thing. Sometimes when you're an alpha and you're fucking rah, sometimes you say and or do something you probably shouldn't do. So with Steve Goncalves, I think that his overwhelming desire to keep this case alive in the minds of people and his aggression causes him to maybe make statements that he shouldn't make. Now, on the flip side of that, Harsh Reality should have understood that this is a private conversation and he shouldn't have really. There is no reason in the world that Harsh Reality should present a private conversation just to make you goobers happy. I understand it's it's business. I understand this is what we do. But at some point you have to have some self-respect with this. And I'm not saying he doesn't. But your audience isn't as beautiful and mean as much as you think it is, Harsh Reality. They're not worth compromising morality. And I understand you think this is everybody's business and everybody needs to know every detail of this case, but it's simply not true. And I want you to understand, the same thing goes with anybody else. Everything about everybody isn't everybody's fucking business. What Steve Goncalves said to you in private about the fucking victims in the middle of a case where there is a gag order is not your audience's fucking business. And that is the one thing about the true crime community that I've never understood. Why these people think every aspect of everything is everybody's business. JB, we heard that you got in a fight with your wife 10, 15 years ago. Yes. Yes, I did. Why is that your business, bitch? But now we know the truth. Yeah, I fought people 10 years ago. I'll fight people now. Who gives a fuck? The point is that they think that they are entitled to know everything about everyone. Meanwhile, the majority of these people watching you, they clutch their pearls and hold tight their identity so you don't know shit about them. They want to know everything about you and everything about every case, but they clutch their identity personally, and then if I expose them, they say I doxed them. A commenter could be in my comment section 24 hours a day talking about every part of my life that they think they know about, but if I dox them, then I'm somehow the bad guy. If I even the playing field and say, well, now that you're talking about my life, here's some of your life, all of a sudden I'm the bad guy. So do you see the point? Because in your world, here in the true crime world, everything is your business. Where in the real world, you know as well as I do that you go putting your snout in people's business, you're going to get fucked up. Somebody's going to smack you in your shit. That's why you only do it on the internet. You don't go snooping in your neighbor's business and through their trash and gutters and shit like that in real life, because a motherfucker will pop the shit out you. Am I right or am I wrong? You only do it on the internet behind the safety of your TV screen, your monitor, your keyboard. Now back to Harsh. I think Harsh's only mistake here was releasing the private conversation. I'm willing to go out on a limb here to say Harsh did not make anything up at all. Now, my problem with him on this is going to be this department. Harsh deleted the goddamn videos. He deleted the goddamn videos again. Now, anyone that knows me will tell you I only delete drunk videos. You see what I'm saying? Videos that don't belong on this shit, where I got too drunk and went live or something. You know what I mean? But videos about subjects, I don't give a fuck if you cocksuckers like it or not. I'm not deleting that shit. He literally deleted the Steve Goncalves videos. It's a video pulled. So it would seem that I'm exposing the truth behind a recent conversation I had with a certain someone wasn't appreciated. I don't know why he said a certain someone. Why didn't you just say Steve Goncalves? Apparently, I have to allow a lying post calling me a foreigner. Well, you are a foreigner, motherfucker. There's not a lying post. Steve Goncalves is right. Keep your fucking British ass in British business, partner. Nobody knows you like you are. You are a foreigner. And see, and this is what the foreigners, here's the one thing foreigners don't understand. Americans don't like foreigners. And they don't like the British. We've been to war with you cocksuckers twice. You burnt down our White House, motherfucker. We've been to war with you twice. Americans do not like British people, no matter how much they try to convince you that they do. And by the way, I'm a white guy. I love all the Europeans. First of all, you know me. I'm pro-white. I love all my European brethren, including Harsh reality. But the reality of this is, American business and UK business doesn't go hand in hand. It hasn't been long enough, right? I don't care what people think. People that are American historians, they don't like the British. You're the redcoats, brother. Real Americans do not like the fucking redcoats. It's not that hard to understand. Apparently, anyway, calling you a foreigner and insinuating me a liar, and I will say this, you weren't a liar. Steve Goncalves was wrong in that. Said the video was reported. I couldn't be bothered to argue it, so you just took it down. And then the other video responding to it. But then goes on to say this channel is harsh reality, not sheep reality. Even though I'm going to delete all the harsh reality videos. Or say what only people want to hear reality. Look, man, I think your only mistake was deleting that, and then you canceled this live. Out of respect for this community and our moderators, I have canceled this evening's live, and have instead created a shorter 14-minute video, which you took off, addressing the Goncalves issue. It's one of those things that's just fucking nuts to me. Like, you're removing the shit because some people in the community or Steve Goncalves didn't like it. I'll tell Steve Goncalves to suck my goddamn dick. And I like Steve Goncalves. If I make a video that you don't like Steve Goncalves, go fuck yourself. I'm not here for your fucking gain, and I'm not here for justice for your fucking daughter. I'm here to give my commentary on the shit. That's it. And if you don't like I understand Harsh has a fucking, an image to uphold. I get it. But what it makes you look like is a fence sitter. You're milquetoast, very milquetoast. It doesn't make you look harsh at all. But what I will defend Harsh on is that he's not a fucking liar. Well, well, kind of. But anyways, that's a whole nother ball game. But what Harsh is, I mean, he's definitely not an innocent until proven guilty guy. Take my word for that, brother. Take my word. Don't let him fool you. He's not an innocent until proven guilty guy. I can tell you that from personal experience. But anyways, especially when someone was found not guilty and he still ran with it. But hey, I think you were guilty. Whatever. So how are you any different than the Kohlberger people that think he's guilty? Anyway, whatever. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. People's hypocrisy doesn't matter. But what does matter is that did he lie to you? Did he lie about the Steve Goncalves conversation? The answer is no. And I think any videos or any people attacking Harsh Reality saying that he did lie to you is completely disingenuous. Harsh Reality, the only thing he did wrong was releasing private conversations. He didn't lie to you, though. And that's reality. Now, let's get to something that actually matters here, outside of this Harsh Reality shit. Steve Goncalves did go on, and there's something that I caught from this, because if you don't know, the house is about to be destroyed on December 30th. Is that it? 29th and 30th? Let's get to this.
Live by Steve Goncalves. He is the father of one of the 4 students killed, Kaylee Goncalves. Steve, thank you for being on tonight. Just your reaction to getting this news. Was this a surprise, hearing that there's a date scheduled and it is December 28th?
Yeah, I was definitely I was surprised that we're at a moment in the case that we don't even have a trial date. You know, we've had a trial date for almost the vast majority of once they had a suspect. So we don't have a trial date, but we have a date to have, you know, largely the biggest piece of evidence being destroyed, which just seems backwards.
I agree with him completely. By the way, I'm waiting on Harsh Reality to criticize his hat. Is that a Jesus Christianity hat? And then say that Steve Goncalves is part of the whole religious scam. You know, which, by the way, religion's a scam. Anyway, that's just me telling you, you know. I didn't say your faith was a scam. I didn't say creed God. I'm not an atheist. But your religion's a scam. All of yours. Whether you're Muslim, Hebrew, or the Jewish, Christian. It's all a scam. But anyway, let's roll back.
So I would have expected that something this monumental would have been discussed behind the scenes, that your lawyer, Shannon Gray, would have been in conversations at least to give you guys, you know, enough time to process this. And it sounds like that's not the case. You didn't get much time, different than the time that we got in terms of this announcement.
No, and I kind of take this as from a perspective of that my opinion's not important as a parent. That's not it. What is important is the lead investigators at the county, state, and federal level, and it is to my knowledge that they are not in all agreement. And we tried to get them to all come in agreement and address, come out with a formal statement.
Right.
So if they can't all agree, I find it very hard for the parents to all agree. We're all trying to get through this the best way we can. I want to be absolutely respectful to every single one of the parents. I understand. I understand that this has to go down, and I'm not going to fight it forever. And I want to be careful what I fight.
Well, here's the thing, Steve. You're in the right side of history on this one. Here's the truth. Is the house evidence? If the answer is yes, how do you destroy evidence before a trial? What sense does it make to destroy evidence before a trial? None of it makes sense to me.
This is a losing battle. But
it is.
It's a long battle as well, as we've come to understand. That brings me to the issue of Mrs. Chapin. Ethan Chapin's mom, Stacy, has given that statement to me saying that, we're okay with this at this point. We agree with the university. We think it's in the best interest of the kids who are there, including her 2 kids, and the community as a whole. What are your thoughts about that?
I totally respect it. I get it. I have leaked footage. I've seen.
He has leaked footage.
Things that they may have not seen.
First of all, what is that thing on your lip, Steve? Why does that shit on your lip have some shit on its lip? Steve walking around with a herpes. What the fuck is going on, Steve? Anyways, he has leaked footage of what? He's seen some things that other people hasn't seen. What does that mean?
I know for a fact the path that this white cilantro, this car took.
White cilantro.
And people are going to wonder what he was doing when he parks in certain locations for extended amount of time. What was he looking?
So is Steve Goncalves saying that he has footage of Brian Kohlberger's car parked, watching the people? Is Steve Goncalves saying that Brian Kohlberger's car, like for sure Brian Kohlberger's car was or he's just saying the white Elantra? Is he saying that he has seen footage of it parked? I'm just curious. Or is he just seeing has he maybe seen some of the evidence that other people have seen, right? But Steve Goncalves is specifically saying, I've seen evidence, I've seen leaked footage of the car that other people may not have seen. Is he talking about the shit on the internet? I'm just kind of curious.
I want to know what he was looking at. And I don't know how you can see what this man was looking at without the house being there. What windows was he peering into? Why did he pick that location to stop at? Why did he keep going back to these certain locations? And I don't know about.
Well, he didn't. He lived in the area. Brian Kohlberger's phone hitting on the tower, which has a 27 square mile radius in this region, is not that impressive. He lives in the area, 8 to 10 miles away from this house. I'm sure he drives by this area all the time. All the time. That doesn't mean anything nefarious.
About the other 12 or 13 times that he was there. I just know the day that this happened and the footage that was given to me.
So he's saying he has footage of the day this happened and the footage that was given to him. Is he talking about the daytime footage with the white Elantra while the news people were there when they drove by? Or is there other footage that he's talking about? And what do you mean on the because if we're talking about the day this happened, are we talking about are we talking about the next day? Because remember, this happened at 4 a.m. Are we talking about that day? After the murders, where the car was seen in the area? Or are we talking about the day before, the night before, the day it happened? The night before, See, that's the weird thing about having it the day before, right? Leading into the night in which it occurred. What is he talking about? Those are questions I think would be cool to get answered. Does he have specific information that we don't know?
So, I'm going to do what's best for my girl. I'm going to protect.
I don't believe he is, and I'm going to tell you why. With the gag order, it makes no sense for him to be like, yeah, I've seen some shit y'all ain't seen. That's the purpose of the gag order.
I'm gonna weigh on the side of what's best for her and making sure that I'm not going to let something slip through our hands that I could have said something. But I do understand it has to go.
I have this question for you because up until now I hadn't really contemplated this, but do you think it's at all possible that the prosecution is so confident about their case, they're not worried at all about the House standing?
I've been told that exactly.
He said, I've been told that exactly. The prosecution, who basically has no real fucking case against Brian Kohlberger except for touch DNA, he's saying that the prosecution is saying, we got this in the bag, Steve. Don't worry about it. We can destroy evidence. No problem. We can destroy the evidence. We got this shit covered. That's crazy.
Told 100%. The amount of stuff we have, Steve, relax. You know, you're a very aggressive a father. Relax. But it's not in my character to just sit back and just know that an opportunity isn't being seized upon. And
right.
I couldn't live with myself. I couldn't live
right. Well, keep in mind that under 50% of homicides in the United States of America are solved. To believe when these people say, hey, relax, we got this covered. We got, Inspector Gadget. Man, ain't nobody believe you. Don't nobody believe the goddamn cops when they say this shit.
With myself, if later on,
except for complete bootlickers,
and a jury member said, you know what, it really came down to the fact that I couldn't see firsthand. They told us the ideal jury member was someone who had thousands of acres and had no time to watch TV. He was out on the farm. Why do you feel like that kind of guy is going to see the footage that I seen and not want to understand what was going on in the house in a computer program?
Them motherfuckers told Steve Goncalves the average juror pool person is going to be somebody with thousands of acres out on their farm. Are you out of your fucking mind? The average one. Stop it.
It's going to mean nothing to that farmer. Almost zero value in a computer model to a farmer like that.
Right.
I want to dovetail off something you just said, and that is that they've told you that, Steve, the amount of stuff we have, relax. Are you referring to like victims advocates or people actually in the know of the case, that they have such a solid case that you should rest easy?
Watching what he's saying.
Vocal, people have reached out to me, and some of those people have just said that if what I know is accurate, Steve, there's a massive amount of information.
If what I know is accurate, let that sink in. If what I know is accurate, does that sound confident to you? Whoever reached out to Steve and said, relax. If what I know is true, you're good to go, brother. That's not very convincing. That's not very convincing at all.
This case will open up other investigators to know that there's a whole nother level of data being collected on people, and some of that will come out in this case.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation.
A whole lot of other data being collected on people, and some of it will come out in this case. Bumfield over there got the exclusive. If Horst would have played his cards right, maybe he could have got an exclusive with Steve Goncalves instead of Bumfield and Cooper and Duper. But what's the moral of the story in this video? Okay? Nothing. Not because there's no goddamn news other than the fact they're tearing down the house at the end of the month. That's literally the only piece of news at all. But I've heard, actually, I'm going to give a shout out to my boy Louie, who's the one that put me up on all this horse shit and everything that's going on in that scenario. Because I haven't been, well, I watch horses videos, but I haven't been paying attention to like the true crime community. It's Christmas time. I'm out with my family doing shit like that, right? I got other shit that I'm doing. Plus, I run other channels. But based on what I know, in my opinion, my bottom line is that Steve Goncalves is a dude grieving about his daughter. Yeah, I can respect that. Steve Goncalves does drop out little things, and what Steve Goncalves has to understand is people are going to hold on to them and wonder what he means. When he says things like he didn't have to go upstairs. When he says things like whether he's been threatened by the family or been threatened by a past suspect. Who's the past suspect, Steve? Or when he comes on there on Bumfield and makes some of the statements he makes. So are you saying there's surveillance footage of Brian Kohlberger's car precisely? Steve Goncalves and Horse Reality have the same exact issue. They're both just rapid fire talking and they're not getting their ducks in order. They're just not. And I know Horse Reality likes to make it clear, likes to make us think he gets his ducks in order, but that's not necessarily true. There's only 24 hours in a day, and he's got to make 2-3 videos, and sometimes he rapid fires them out there. Steve Goncalves has a different agenda. He wants to get to the bottom of the case, and so sometimes he just rapid fire speaks. So in the Steve Goncalves versus Horse Reality thing, I don't think it's... Stephen Goncalves called him a grifter. I don't think that's the truth. I think Horse Reality is a dude that likes to make money off his YouTube videos. I think Horse Reality tries to convince you that he doesn't. Remember, he take down the merch and things like that and tell you that how he wants to, he knows all of you guys are struggling with bills and get the fuck out of here. I've been around long enough to see Horse Reality do all that shit. Right? I'm taking down my buy me a coffee, my merch store, all of this, because I don't want people. It reminds me of an old commercial in Indianapolis from a gun store by the name of Don's Guns. He's like, I don't like to make money. I just like to sell guns. Bullshit. Guys, shout out to Horse. I haven't talked about him in a minute because I haven't had nothing to talk about. Do not look down on Horse for this. The only thing he did that was improper was release a private conversation. That's the truth. He didn't try to deceive you, anything like that. That's the truth. Steve Goncalves, he's just doing the dad thing. There's really no news. The house is coming down. I don't think it should. Guys, let me know your comments on all this, and I'll try to come back with more videos. There's just not a lot of news. All right. Do you guys want me to start putting other crime stories here? I will. They may not necessarily even be true crime stories. They're just crime stories in general. I'll do that. Let me know what you think. If you guys like what I do here and you want to support the channel, you want to join the gun squad, couldn't do it without you guys. Hit the links down below. I'm JB Gunner. This is Crime Time. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.